if Kyle Davidson was unsure of who to take with the probable number 1 overall pick, there's no other name to take now other than Macklin Celebrini. We've seen him exceed every expectation in this year's World Juniors, and now that Canada's been eliminated, we've got to see him play against some of the top competition of his age group. So we're going to be talking about Macklin Celebrini in this video and his association with the Chicago Blackhawks. But before we get into all of that, we noticed that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get all your news around the Blackhawks, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while, sub to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the breaking news. But like I said, Macklin Celebrini has exceeded every expectation so far in the World Juniors. And now, that the tournament's over, we can actually analyze what he's done compared to other players and what he's done compared to his projections before the tournament. So we'll take a look here at the Canadian team stats before we look at some other things around the league. He led the team in points. Obviously, the team is not what Canada expected, not what they wanted, but Macklin Celebrini was by far the best offensive player on this team. I don't really think there was a doubt in that. And, he kind of carried this team on their back. He didn't get too much ice time because being 17 years old, they're not gonna put everything into his hands, but he's shown that in the ice time that he had with this team, he was very, very good, very, very talented, and very, very smart. But Noah, what do you think about his tournament real quick before we get into the rest of the association with the Blackhawks and everything?
Yeah. Way to not bring up the loss. I mean, if you didn't know, we are Canadian and we are a little bit bummed out by the loss. But Macklin Celebrini looked like the best player on Canada. I mean, if you looked at his hockey reference or his stats anywhere, it shows that. I mean, 4 goals, 4 assists. He was easily the best player on the ice. No matter he was taking the puck and skating around everybody. I mean, I think he had a couple spinoramas in this game, in a quarterfinal game, just to show you the type of player he is. I mean, we were comparing him. He's not essentially Connor Bedard, but he was kind of like the Connor Bedard figure of last year's tournament this year for Canada. So if this just solidified his first overall, him going first overall, I don't know what did.
Yeah, their name, Cole Eiserman, Macklin Celebrini, those are the two really being thrown around at 1, 2, with a few others going down, up until 5. But I think this tournament, although we didn't see Cole Eiserman, secured Macklin Celebrini's number 1 spot in this upcoming draft, which is projected, I'm sure as many of you know, to go to the Chicago Blackhawks. You see right here, Macklin Celebrini, number 1 to the Blackhawks, although you can see any of these names potentially going 2 to 5. I think you can really see either of those. I think Cole Eiserman, had he played in the World Juniors, would have had another opportunity to show what he can. But, we didn't get to see it. Obviously, this U.S. team is absolutely incredible. So, Macklin Celebrini, the headline of this tournament, I guess you could say. And along with the Canadian points, he was also number 6 in the tournament as of right now. Now, the tournament's not over, but Macklin Celebrini won't be getting any more points. There's no way to possibly do so. But it just shows, he could be ready for the NHL as soon as he's drafted. He obviously could have the opportunity to go back to college. He could go play in the World Juniors next year, although I think that's very unlikely. But whoever gets him, whether it be the Blackhawks, whether it be anybody else, I think he's going to be that guy, that you want to have. And obviously the Blackhawks got Bedard last year, and Macklin Celebrini adding to this.
Oh my God.
This kind of showed that Macklin Celebrini's play that the Blackhawks need to lose. In my last video I said, it's a bit disappointing seeing the Blackhawks lose in a bunch of these blowout games, and I'm all for losing for the Blackhawks. Keep going, keep tanking, but just try not to lose 8-1, 10-1, those types of games. But the Blackhawks, the Blackhawks are in an absolutely fantastic spot to get Macklin Celebrini, and they need to continue this. Now, obviously, Macklin Celebrini, will add to this team, but he won't be the headline of this team either. There won't be as much pressure on him as there is for Connor Bedard. He still won't be, the face of this team if he does, once again, go to the Blackhawks. But Noah, what do you think about, I would assume you think that Macklin Celebrini will be going number 1. But what do you think he would,
it's a given, I think.
Yeah, what do you think he would add to this Blackhawks team had he, or if he does go to this roster?
Well, he has that superstar sort of aura around him. I mean, we've seen that this year, or at the last couple of weeks, the World Juniors. I mean, he's fast, he plays like a big body, even though I think I think he might be 6 feet tall. He's like, I think he just brings absolutely everything. And to pair him with Connor Bedard in Chicago, that's, oh my God, just even thinking about it, it's just get the goosebumps going.
Yeah, it's kind of something like that you can't even think of until it would happen, if it does happen once again. Yeah. But, seeing 2 players like this drafted back to back, having the potential to play against each other, I don't think we've ever seen it. We've seen a lot of first-round picks in Edmonton in, like, the mid to late 2000s, but none of those players were really to the caliber of these 2 and having the potential to play with each other. You know, it's just, I can't really comprehend of what it will be like if it does happen. You know, Macklin Celebrini, I'll pull up his career stats again here. You can see this is what he's played since 1920. That's on Elite Prospects. He's torn it up no matter where he went. Whether it's in the USHL, whether it's in NCAA, where he's currently a 17-year-old at Boston University, putting up, 25 points in 15 games. The World Juniors this year, U14 AAA, putting up 141 points in 50 games.
Crazy numbers.
Wherever he goes, he's shown that he can adapt to that play. He's able to keep up and exceed the level that play he's at. And, he very quickly adapts to his opponent. We've seen that this tournament. Although Canada didn't get the result they wanted, we've seen Macklin Celebrini be one of the only people on this team who could adapt and adjust to what the defenders were doing against him. This Canada team had, no chemistry at all, really, from what we've seen, from what we saw in the games. Not sure about practice, but from the games. But Macklin Celebrini was able to do what he wanted with the puck, get it to who he wanted, and gel with whoever he was playing with, which is something that...
The numbers...
Yeah, like...
You just look at the numbers, right?
Exactly. You're exactly right. The numbers show that he was the one who was running this Canada team, although he might not have been the face of them running it, if you know what I mean. But this is a very good sign for the Blackhawks if, once again, this is all speculation. The Blackhawks got the first overall pick. This is all, if the stars align, I guess you could say. This is exactly what the Blackhawks need. Someone who you can put on any line and will work. That's what we've seen with the Blackhawks this year. They've had so many line changes that they haven't really been able to get that amount of chemistry. But having Macklin Celebrini being able to do that in whatever league, whatever team he's on, is something that would be very special for the Blackhawks and set them up for the future.
I guess it's not really a great comparison, but the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, is the whole Taves and Kane connection, and see maybe if Celebrini and Bedard, if they play together, they could do what Taves and Kane did. I mean, obviously, they were 4 years apart. I think Taves was 2003 draft, and Kane was 2007, if I am correct. But, I mean, they did absolutely magical things in Chicago, and I think if Celebrini does get the chance to play in Chicago, I think they could easily do magical things, no problem.
No, yeah, for sure. And let's reiterate, that is prime Taves and Kane, not the last going off.
True.
Like
that's true.
The prime dynasty Chicago Blackhawks. So,
yeah,
just the thought of having something like that come back to the city of Chicago is something that it don't happen very often as quickly as quick as a turnaround as it would be from those two to these two. So fingers crossed the Blackhawks continue to be bad and get this first overall pick, because I can't even imagine what these two playing together would be like. And, I can only think of everything positive, but it's hard to imagine, whether they'd play on the same line, whatever, that they would be, how good they would be together. We've seen that Bedard's been heavily watching the World Juniors, shown that, his enthusiasm of potentially playing with Macklin Celebrini, and it's just a very good sign.
They're both from Vancouver, too.
Yeah, I think they're both from BC, I believe, but,
yeah.
Whether it's like that or not, whatever happens, this could be massive. And I really do want to see something like this happen. But we'll only have to wait. We have the hope to continue, the Blackhawks continue to be bad. And then they get the first overall pick and pick Macklin Celebrini. And then, it'll happen. We're praying for it. Hope it happens. But I'm sure many of you guys are. But that's all we got for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Make sure to like the video if you want Macklin Celebrini #1 overall. Obviously, that should be everybody, so make sure to like the video. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.